Hi and welcome back to the lab. And today here on the bench we have a Yaesu FT-5D. So that is this little nice handheld, and it has display, but there is no background light. Don't know if you can see it, most likely not. So I see the display flashing and no backlight, and I can turn the frequency, but that's it. So let's have a look what's going on here. Okay, and here is our FT-5D, and you see the flashing display, and you see that at least we have display, but you only can see it because I am really put my flashlights here onto it, so my illumination here, my workspace illumination, so that is then possible to see it, but it is connected to the tester, to the same frequency, of course, and what can I say, we have definitely no receive, nothing. It is completely silent, so that is something very interesting, and let's check what we can do else. I've switched the radio off, and this here is our external charger cable, and let me connect this charger to the radio, and okay, so it is telling us now charging, so that is obviously working. So let me try to switch it on. Oh, hello! Now that is interesting. So with the external power supply, suddenly you see that our backlight is coming up, and we have receive and no flashing display anymore. So that is telling me already a lot, because I believe that for a reason there is a missing voltage inside, so that we really can get the radio working with our external connector here. So that is literally the charging cable, but you see that is enough to have receive. Okay, so we really need to get into the radio and see what's really going on here. Alright, as you can see, we have the radio apart, and on this side we have our RF unit, and here on what it is still here in the housing, so that is a control unit. I think we take off here the shield in order to get access to the PCB, because as far as I have seen it on the service manual, the voltages which are important to us are more or less all on the RF unit. So let me simply try to get down to where we need to be. Here is now our RF unit, and now the first what we do, let's see if we can find something obvious, and then we can go ahead. Alright, and as you can see, we don't need to go any further, because we have here a MOSFET, so that is a P channel MOSFET which burned out. And then of course it is clear that we have missing voltages which leads to the situation we have seen that with a battery we have only our display, but then there is no additional operation. And that is very clear because this MOSFET here is regulating and managing the battery current and voltages. So therefore, when we go over our normal socket, our DC socket, so there it is normal that it works, but with the controller here for our battery burned off means that it can't work any longer over the battery. And since this is a quite new radio, we don't make any compromise, so we are really swapping out here our unit, so our RF unit, and therefore I have already here our new board, which covers our new RF unit, and that is now the one we are putting in. And therefore, of course, we need to take off here the ribbon cable. That is what we still need for our new board. And now let me transfer it over, and then we can put it back together, and yeah, let's see. Okay, so the RF unit I've already put back here to the housing or chassis, and of course we have here our antenna connector, and that is directly here connected with the board. So that is very important that this screw here is really tight. And of course we have to put here our sealing, our gasket around, and first of all now we have to put back here our shielding. That is important, but I have to see if there is, or if there are some screws which are underneath, and it looks like that we have exactly that situation. I believe we have to put here first our screws in, and then we can go ahead. Okay, now you can see everything is back as it should. So what we need to do now is to put here the ribbon cable back to the controller unit, and then we are almost ready to go. As you can see, the RF board is back in, and I've already put here the 2 screws into it to fix it here in this chassis. And well, now let's try what happens. So we directly put the battery back. Okay, it's in, and now let's see if it works or not. Hey, that looks good. Not flashing. Our backlight is back. Okay, so then next, of course, we need to check if the receive and transmit is working. Alright, so very important now is if our sensitivity is given, and according the specs we should see 0.16 microvolt at 12 dB. So let me go over to the tester and let's see what we can read. So you see it is set to 0.16 microvolt, and we are at approximately it's between 16, 17 dB, so that is better than spec, no doubt. So that is fully working, obviously. The second, when we go back here to our screen now, it has darkened a little bit to reduce current consumption. And you see when we touch on it, it comes back up again. So you see that is working as well. And of course I have tested the TX power. So, oh, hang on a second, I need to go back to 2 meter, and okay, so menu, TX power, and you see we can adjust it between low 1, low 2, low 3 and high. Low 3 by the way is 2.5 watt output power, so that is working. And I think the 5 watt output power I only get on 13.8 volt, but let me double check. So yeah, no, it is running with battery as well, so that is 4.5 on battery, and so that is working as well. I've tested the deviation, which is working, and I have really to admit that the menu here is really nice. So we know that Yaesu is not really known for having the best menus, but in this case, this new radios, I have to admit that this here is really nice. So you can do it without looking into, you know, the manual. So that is something I definitely like. So what I do now, I do exactly the same testing, of course, for 70 centimeters, and yeah, then we are ready to go. Yeah, and we have definitely here the same situation. So with 160 microvolt, so 160 nanovolt, if you like, we are at 18 dB. So sensitivity is given. Now you have seen how nicely it goes down here with the display a little bit, just to save battery. And yes, you see that is nice. What I like as well is that we have this squelch button here on the left hand side, and you see it, and you can adjust your squelch level, what I really love as well. Anyway, so we are definitely here at the, no, not really at the end. Let's try if the radio is charging. Yes, and as you can see, it is charging. So I just used here the delivered charger, and yes, it is, so no problem whatsoever. And I should be able to switch it on, which with the charger in, and yes, you see it is working, no problem. So everything is definitely fine, and that means we are really at the end of our video. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.